God.
Red alert! Red alert! Red alert! We had a Dune trailer and nothing happened. We didn't talk about it. So
We
been a
didn't
week.
talk about it.
It's been, by the time this releases, it will have been almost 2 weeks. So right on time.
When you sent me that message, I was shook. I was like, "What do you mean you haven't talked about it yet?" But I feel glad. I'm happy that I'm here for the exclusive conversation.
You're here. We were waiting for you, baby.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of funny, Jason. Let's just take a second and just reflect on the growth from 6 years ago when we were in Dune Pod. In your opinion, what is the probability that I would have allowed us to not record under any circumstance a trailer breakdown?
I don't know.
On release date.
I had half as many children when we first started the pod, so anything's possible.
I'm taking it as growth. But Catcher, let me just start by inviting you as our resident cinephile. How did this trailer grab you? And with the impending release of Nolan's opus, like, how you feeling for Denis this year?
I mean, obviously, I'm feeling good for him. The movie is in terms of like, what do you mean in comparison to the Odyssey? I'm confused. I think I missed the point.
Make Matt make sense. This bullshit question.
Yeah. Sorry. So the question is it better than Odyssey? You mean? Well,
Are you feeling great? Like, are you super psyched for Dune 3? Like, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, of course I'm excited. It opens on my birthday.
Wait, our meetup here is on your birthday, December 18th
is my birthday. That's right. Wow. So it is a big birthday for me.
Wow, we are going to celebrate gift, honestly, because
the week before Christmas is always release time for the big stuff.
Right.
For the last 10 years, which has been a gift for me.
Star Wars and Harry Potter's and all that, yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, I am excited for the Odyssey, but I am more excited for Dune, for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Denis Villeneuve is in my top 3 favorite directors ever. So for me,
you've got to be excited for it.
Yeah. I mean, he's never made a bad movie.
Do you remember when we did Polytechnique on this pod, the 3 of us?
Of course. Yeah. I started listening to that episode recently, actually.
You did?
Yeah. Because you posted a thing which was all of the special guests, like who's been on the pod the most.
Yes.
I believe this is my 25th episode.
25.
That's
25.
Crazy.
So I was going through. Yeah, I was going through and I was like, oh, I listened to the Ensendie episode and then I started listening to the Polytechnique episode just to hear what that energy was like.
You guys wasted me for not knowing what Wernicke was.
Yeah. So. It's a pretty famous painting, but it's okay. So yeah,
that was a good one.
It was. All those early episodes. I mean, yeah, it was a lot of fun doing that stuff. And
a lot of fun.
Hearing it back, it's like everyone was really fresh and it felt good. And no one had kids. I mean, I don't have kids yet, but kids have taken over your lives now.
That's true.
That's just how it goes. But yeah,
you should consider having some. It's very clarifying.
I don't. Maybe no, never gonna. No, I don't know. I have a dog. That's enough. It's too much.
Okay, it's a good start. It's a good start, and it can be a good ending.
Yeah,
good ending if you want.
But
my dogs were both snipped today, so boy and girl. So they will not be having any more dogs.
I'm surprised they let you take them unsnipped because generally with designer dogs, they don't let you. They're worried that you're going to breed them yourself.
They were only 8 weeks old, so you can't do that at that point. So it's all good. It's all good. Well, Jason. So let me just start by saying I'm in a top secret Discord of Dune fanatics.
Okay.
Who post information, kind of trying to figure out what's going on and tracking late breaking news. So I oftentimes find news items that then I can bring to the community here. But these are the hardest of the hardcore, the Dune fans. And we spent a day and a half talking about this trailer. No one knows what the fuck is going on because it's impossible to tell what is the future, what is the current, what are alternate futures, because there's a grain on this image that shows this. So that means it's probably Paul looking at another possible outcome versus the real outcome. And there's some big spoilers. There are some characters that we knew we were going to have introduced based on casting, but to see them on screen, but again, it's impossible to tell whether that's actually, current day or whether that's a vision of the future.
Yeah. I mean, my assumption in watching it is that there's going to be a core section of the movie that's in one timeline that kind of goes through the Paul is bald part of the reign.
That's
and then
the
there's
17 years. That's the 17 years later.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of flashback to various things that happened when he had hair, and that was the way I sort of internalized the timeline to myself. And then I think for book readers, there's kind of canonical elements that you sort of know that they take place within the timeline of Messiah proper, the 17 years later. I think it looks dope. I'm interested in this whole thing where Denny sent out like experimental young filmmakers to capture weird shit weirdly. I don't know what that means. I don't know how that works. It seems like a big gamble. It's a weird, I mean, look, like this is a weird, this is our, if you go back and listen to everything we said, it's a weird fucking movie. It's going to be weird. The book is weird. It's weirder than the previous two. Like the books only get weirder as time goes on. This is a big step function up in weirdness. And they're gonna have to figure out how to make that work.
One thing I find really fascinating about this whole thing is how much Timothée Chalamet has changed.
I had that note too.
The original casting in the film, like he was this little twee indie scrawny kid, and now like you watch the FIFA commercials, right, the Adidas commercials and stuff, and like he is like super cool and funny and fast and strong and doing stuff, and he just like he is completely transformed in front of our eyes.
Yeah, like it's definitely a big step up from like the Paul Atreides that was at the breakfast table with Jessica,
right?
Where he looks like very kind of twinky and like is just like like kind of sunken chest and like sort of little boy, has a lot of little boy energy.
Yeah.
And like this is like he's like Space Hitler. So it's a real evolution. It's a real change for him. He's out there. He's crucifying people like a grown up boy now.
Crazy. Those images are amazing.
Yeah, pretty strong desiccated corpse.
Yeah.
I don't know if Denny sent the young experimental film makers out to capture the crucifixions.
Probably not.
One of the filmmakers he sent out is his daughter, right? One of the two filmmakers that they sent out is his daughter. And then my assumption is like throughout the first two movies, they've always done a little bit of like weird sort of sandy, like psychedelic stuff. My assumption is just more of that stuff. He just didn't have time to shoot it himself and was like, go get me some stuff that we can start piecing together in post and see how it goes. That was my assumption. I don't think it's going to be dramatically different. I think this man is just overworked and he's got too much shit on his plate trying to get these movies done in the amount of time that they're doing them. And yeah, so who knows? But I have a question.
I think
go please ask your question.
Well, it's two questions. One, when he's standing on top of that sort of like pyramid,
up top,
where is your assumption that this location is taking place?
That's Arakeen. So you see they have the inverted pyramid that the ship is flying to.
Okay,
and that is his palace or whatever
with a huge statue of him in one shot.
You're right.
Yes, which as Abu from the Gam Jabbar podcast called out on Twitter, like it doesn't look like him at all. Like he is like, big and strong and kind of like, it's not at all like a kind of realistic. It's definitely an idealized, he looks thick in there. But yeah, in the book, it describes how that palace is literally the largest structure that's ever been created by human beings. Like Paul wants it to be this giant, imposing palace.
And that's on Arrakis? That's the city?
That's Arakeen. That's in the capital.
The city.
He basically just kept that as
Is that in the south or is that where his base is at the beginning?
It's in the north. It's in the north.
Okay.
It's like the traditional, it's like the old imperial capital as well. It's like where shit was run from.
Gotcha.
It's where the Atreides landed. It's where the Atreides household was.
Okay, gotcha.
And where he defeated the Emperor. Yeah.
Okay.
There's another note I saw on Twitter about the inverted pyramid behind the statue of Paul, which is that it's a echo of the bull that killed his grandfather. Like it's like the inverted pyramid is like a is a horned is a stylized version of a horned creature. It's like it's like the fate of the Atreides being like hunted by their ego and pride, which I liked. Awesome. I don't know if intentional, but I like that. I thought that was a good observation.
Cool.
Now, my only other thing is there anything in any of the trailers that are like, I don't know, not that you don't know, like that you literally don't know what it is, like it doesn't feel like it's from anything from the books, like that he's done something
we've never seen. So I mean, there's like the all of the stuff of what Paul's jihad looked like. We don't have really strong.
That was all off. Herbert does all action off screen.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. So there's there's the Fremen seeing the ocean and like all of these like
beautiful.
all these like shots, the crucifixions, like all of these things, like, you know, the action stuff.
Aaliyah
like,
walking barefoot through the
we've
ashes.
never really seen.
Gotcha. But
So,
there's
you know,
other
that
stuff.
seems cool.
It doesn't feel like you're like, wow, I don't understand. Like that
There's
seems like
unclear
a left,
things.
like a left turn he's taking.
There's unclear things. Like there's things where it's like, is this meant to evoke the Spacing Guild? Is this meant to evoke like, you know, something else? Like, you know, we don't really know. Is this the thing that like a Gola shows up in? Like, we don't really know. But like, there's sort of antecedents to it.
We know, like we see the sarcophagus of a Spacing Guild navigator, but we don't actually see the navigator. And I believe with high confidence that we will see that. We will see that being in the film.
So I think so.
I think that's coming. But Jason, nary a Chaos Dwarf to be seen.
Seems for the best.
Definitely. Most definitely. I thought Duncan looks great. He's got the beard again. He's not clean shaven. And he's right back in the gravitas mode after like, since the last time he did Dune, he's been making like Fast and the Furious movies and playing Lobo and shit. Like, it's nice to see him
doing something respectable. Yeah.
Doing something respectable. Arpats looks terrible as Sightale, just visually. But I'm sure he'll be great.
I heard a rumor about that, or like an idea about the way he looks. Something about the fact that because he can change how he looks.
Yeah, he's a face dancer.
Exactly. So like what you're seeing there isn't necessarily how he'll look throughout the rest of the movie, but it might be some visual trickery or something. It's how he's being perceived by somebody else. I'm not sure exactly.
What about Irulan? Speaking of not looking how you expect, there's this shot of her like with like sort of the crazy dirt seaweed on her. She went to like some spa. She really got some work done in the off season.
Exfoliation is key.
Some of those like Korean moisture patches. She just got put all over her shit. Like,
she's going for it. But I do like, I love the fact that Chani, and I think Catcher, you were talking about the poster, the fact that the Dune 2 poster is the two of them together with Paul raising the knife, and then the third poster is them directly in opposition. And so like, I just really think this is going to be something special for Zendaya and what they do. We're not going to talk about it now, but that is a Denis invention, the conflict between Chani and Paul. And I feel like that will not be just like some quick resolution that they then move behind. I think it's going to be more significant.
I'm excited for the Zendaya as like, you know, like active antagonist and like, you know, like, or, you know, protagonist, whatever. Like she's like an oppositional force. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, they've definitely set that up so well too. Like in the previous movies, her strength against him. Oh, it's perfect. Yeah.
It looks great.
Also, the fact that her line of dialogue, you know, the spice is beautiful in the morning or whatever, like she's the opening dialogue of the franchise, of the whole trilogy. So like just, he definitely has seeded all of that. And Zendaya in this and the Odyssey and Spider-Man Brand New Day. Like it's just like
she's really having a year. And that movie with the other movie with Arpats,
the drama
which people liked. Yeah.
The drama, yeah.
Did you watch it, Catcher? I haven't seen it.
I did.
Is it good?
Was it good?
No.
It was their performances I really enjoyed. I had an issue with just some of like just the nuts and bolts of what's literally happening, the story of it, the plot of it, just kind of it just pulled me in places. I was like, I don't understand this, but there's some funny moments. She pukes. Like a character trait of hers is she pukes a couple times. It's really funny.
I like that.
So, yeah.
Somebody said it's very important not to be spoiled on this movie, what it's about. And then I avoided getting spoiled. I think Van said that. And I avoided getting spoiled for like 2 months. And then like Sean blurted it out on The Big Picture or something. So I think I'm spoiled, but I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything. I need to watch it. I think it's on HBO or something.
Yeah.
We'll see. Catcher.
Yes.
25 episodes.
Is that true? 25. Was I right about that? Is that true?
You were right. You're right. Anyone can look up on our brand new website, escapehatchpod.com. Go check out. Every week we will have our latest video clips. We'll have our episodes. We'll have the host bios. All that info is there and ready to be perused by you at your leisure. So come on and check it out.
I went looking for that website to gain that information today and couldn't find it. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to ask Gemini. Let's see what Gemini has to say. How many episodes have I been on of Escape Hatch Dune Pod? It told me 6, and I couldn't get it to give me a different number. And I thought that was fascinating. I was like, you're shortchanged me, Gemini. OpenAI, same thing.
Gemini doesn't know shit.
Yeah.
Your quote chosen by the transcript bot that Jason created. I'm a tough man. I'm not crying. Please don't look at me.
But does it say where that's from? Which episode that's from?
I don't think it does, but I can
That's
ask
too
Claude
funny.
to fix that real quick.
Well, let's
That
not do
feels
it right now.
perfectly
Okay,
on point for
all
me
right.
as a person.
I'll do that later. I'm pretty sure that was Call Me By Your Name.
Gotta be, yeah.
Guys, very excited to be here tonight. We have a beloved member of our community that is Rusty Surfer, who is, I would say, a Coen's fanatic. Very specifically, his first beloved pinnacle is Burn After Reading, which we did for him.
Mm-hmm.
He sent an incredible letter telling about his journey and how watching that film in cinema changed his life, literally. And one of his other faves is Brother, Where Art Thou? So we are finally hitting that masterpiece tonight at the bottom of the hour.
We're here for you. We're a service organization.
We're here to make the people happy, one person at a time. Before we do, Jason, next week, your summer continues.
Amazing.
We have Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
Right. How are we going to deal with that?
How are we doing that, buddy? How's it going? The summer of Jason.
Yeah, I might. I mean, look, if there's a world in which I could see it this weekend, I will.
Great.
I'm not very confident. We don't have any childcare, and we have 2 children, and I am not bringing them to a 3-hour R-rated movie, nor am I asking my wife to watch both of them so that I can go see a 3-hour R-rated movie by myself. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. We have Playwell here in Marin where you can just like drop your kids off for like unsupervised time while they build Lego. So maybe something like that. Like you could put them in a bush.
3 hours of just.
I feel like there's a YouTube video, Jason, that you could find a recap of and then just
It's like
pretend.
even if they go, maybe there's a world in which they're at camp and like there's like a 10 a.m. show or something like that.
I bought you a ticket for the 10 a.m. showing on Monday.
Well, I will not be in San Francisco, but
you will not. But that's what I'm doing. I'm going to the 10 a.m. After 2.5 hours of trying to buy tickets. I was finally able to get through the servers. My Odyssey ended with Monday morning tickets, so that's what's happening.
All right.
And we are going to be joined by an Odyssey scholar, one of the moms of a friend of Sam's, Bijani Mazel, who has been teaching the Odyssey for over 10 years and will be breaking it down for us. So I'm very excited about that.
Great host. What a great host for that.
Her first podcast really will be very cool.
That's so cool.
Meanwhile, guys, can we do some Hatch news?
Hatch news from beyond.
Guys, Inarritu, Tom Cruise, Digger. The trailer just dropped. How we feeling?
I saw a tweet on this. I can't remember. I've lost it, so I can't credit, which was like, in every generation, a demon appears to a prominent filmmaker and whispers, you too can make Dr. Strangelove. And only the strongest filmmakers are able to resist. And unfortunately, Inarritu has succumbed.
It's like trying to follow...
that.
It's like trying to follow the sea snake through the gullet or whatever.
It
like you
could
can't get
be
through the teeth.
fine. It could be fine. It feels like it may not be fine. Like, it's like it's one of those where it's like TBD.
It was giving me a bit of Don't Look Up, which obviously has a similar theme, but I was worried about something that's supposed to be really funny that doesn't always work out. Catcher,
I'm worried about it.
You optimistic?
I am not an Inarritu. I'm not an Inarritu guy for the most part.
What's your favorite Inarritu and your least favorite?
I don't know, and I don't know. I'd have to look up his filmography. But why don't I just talk about it first, and then I can look it up later?
Okay.
Everything Jason said in terms of the Doctor Strangelove is basically exactly what I was thinking. That said, there's something about it that does interest me. And normally I'm also not a Wes Anderson guy, but there is something about the way the scenes are staged and the sort of artificiality that's going on that kind of felt interesting to me. This is Tom Cruise's this is his, his moment. He's like, this is going to be it. I'm finally back in the good graces of the human people, and so this is my chance to finally win when I have yet to win. And so part of me is like, he's going to build there was nothing was going to get past him that he wasn't going to make sure it was going to be perfect and amazing for everyone to love him.
Yeah. So
I don't know. And I'm excited to see. And I secretly wanted to fall flat on its face, but but also I'm open for it to be really impressive and cool. I'm not sure, but I'm more excited than I thought I would be. Let's put it that way.
I think it's gonna suck. I think I'm just gonna be bold. I like Inari 2 fine. I just think I think they're shooting. I think they're trying to shoot the moon. I think they'll end up with at least one spade.
Tough to do. Yeah. When you get that last spade, at the very end, you're like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Really fucked it. All right. Well, speaking of something that we know works, last night, Sam and I continued our MCU journey and we watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2013. This is a very good movie, you guys.
Griffin's seen that one.
So we watched it. We got to the scene on the prison planet setup where when Drax tosses the machine gun to Rocket and he goes, yeah, and he just starts shooting. Like Sam fell over on the couch and then just began jumping up and down. He had, I think, never been more excited in cinema. It really, it's funny. The music's amazing. You're crying inside like 60 seconds of the movie opening because his mom's dying. These guys, they had something going on for sure.
Yeah, we watched that one. That was a big success for us. We've watched the first Tom Holland Spider-Man, and we're trying to get ready for the Spider-Man. We've watched the first Avengers, and we've watched the first Thor.
Yeah.
In no particular order. And so we're kind of bobbing around.
We're doing it in order. We have Age of Ultron, which I think we will watch. That's where there start to be some real cracks starting to show in the
Some cracks in the facade.
Yeah, but then I think we may skip Ant-Man and go straight to Civil War because Civil War is good. So
how was Thor, the first Thor, received?
He's into the hammer and shit. Like
that's about
it
right.
Worked out.
Okay.
The movie was better than I thought, actually.
You can ask him. Griffin wants to make another appearance on the pod at the end, so you can ask him. Yeah, so you can ask him his questions. He's being,
that would be great. I'll write them down.
He's being well behaved. Yeah, write down.
Does he know he was
questions.
cut from the? Does he know he was cut from the aired episode?
It was wasn't it in the post? Wasn't it in the stinger?
Maybe it's in the stinger.
It's the stinger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Don't go making promises, Seat One over there. I gotta, I might have other stinger plans. You gotta be careful.
Okay.
You give the kid, you just lie to the kid then, H. That's all you have to do.
I'm just saying, like,
don't take this from them.
You got to deal with Goldman's carefully, I've discovered, for podcasting. It's important. Can we just pause and say R.I.P. to Sam Neill, who we lost this morning?
Tough one.
He
seems like such a great guy. Everyone loved him.
Great guy. Yeah.
Really funny. He's tremendous remembrances out there. It was so good. I mean, we loved him in obviously Jurassic Park, but in Hunt for Red October. Yep. Yeah, we've talked about Sam a few times on this pod, and every time we're stoked he's in the movie. So R.I.P. to a god. He was great.
The other one we didn't talk about was his performance in Peaky Blinders season 1 and season 2.
I don't remember that.
He is absolutely terrifying. He's the bad guy. He's the bad detective or whatever that's responsible for breaking them. And he's absolutely awful. Like, he's so scary in it. He's really, really good. So it's just amazing to see him do an incredible performance. A great actor. You will live on forever, Sam Neill. We'll always remember you singing Bye Bye Love. Guys, are you ready to get into this movie?
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's brother
Let's get on this journey. The three of us.
The three of us. All right, here we go. Oh, brother, where art thou? Is the long journey home and the realization that the treasure you need may not be the one you were looking for. In Depression-era Mississippi, silver-tongued and eloquently coiffed Ulysses Everett McGill is serving out a harsh sentence breaking rocks on a prison chain gang, having practiced law without a license in order to fulfill his duty as paterfamilias for his wife Penny and their 7 children. Locked up and learning of Penny's intent to marry a suitor in just 4 days' time, Everett talks 2 dim-witted chain gang partners, Pete and Delmar, into breaking their shackles and following him with the promise of a buried fortune they can recover before his home valley is flooded forever in the South's chance to embrace the modernity of rural electrification. They embark on an odyssey filled with baptizing preachers, seductive sirens, a one-eyed Bible salesman, hooded Klansmen, and worst of all, a desperate gubernatorial contest. Along the way, they will find a new calling when they accidentally cut a popular radio hit as the Soggy Bottom Boys. But can Everett find a way to prove his bona fides by having a literal flood wash away his sins? Or will the devil catch up with these 3 fools and leave their families crying out, "Oh, brother, where art thou?"
That was how hard was that one, H, when you were writing
That
it?
was a hard one. There's a lot there. There's a lot there.
But just the ending. I would never have figured out how to end that.
The ending,
that was great.
yeah, yes. I knew it was a question, so figuring out who was asking the question became the next thing. All right, so Catcher.
It's a little insight into the process there, Catcher. You get to see how the sausage is made.
Catcher, what was your first experience with Oh Brother Where?
I'm almost certain I've watched this maybe once before, but I couldn't tell you when. So this is like, of my film conscious brain, this feels like the first time, I guess. I have a hard time with Coen Brothers movies because intellectually I understand them to be good, but they do not speak to me in a way that other filmmakers do. And so it's one of these things where I get it. The ride is good. I see what they're playing with, but then it sort of leaves me almost immediately after I'm watching it. I'm not like eager to jump back, other than Burn After Reading and No Country for Old Blood, right? No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men.
And Blood Simple. Those three. And even Blood Simple I haven't seen since the first time I watched it, but I did really enjoy it when I watched it.
I have never rewatched Blood Simple since I saw it in like 1988, and I have almost no memory.
Yeah, it's like the archetypal Coen. It's like literally every movie they've ever made in one movie. It's kind of cool for that.
Nice.
So yeah, but that's my thing. I don't know. I don't hate them. I just don't deeply love them, and so it was a fun chance to like assess this and see what's going on. It's been a while, so yeah, happy to do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll just say quickly, I saw this when it came out. I loved it and particularly connected with the music, but I thought it was really funny and a really, really terrific movie. And then I've never rewatched it. So it was a true joy to fire it back up and get back in the mix. And especially in the context of why we're approaching it. Jason?
Saw it in the theater for sure. Was excited. There's a new Coen Brothers movie out. Was living in San Francisco. Was about to move from Berkeley to San Francisco in December of that year. Was like surprised at how successful Oh Brother was. It was like one of those things where I was just like, damn, you just never know when these guys are going to catch fire. And like, in terms of just its cultural like resonance, like people love the soundtrack, and the soundtrack just really did numbers for them. Liked the movie, thought it was funny, and I think I probably didn't love it as much as some of the other Coens on my first watch. But like it is, and so it's one of my lesser rewatch ones probably. Like it's, not one that I've visited a ton in the last 26 years, but was really stoked to see it for the pod this week and watched it with Griffin. So I have his notes as well.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, could we show this? Because April wanted to watch it. And I was like, oh, can we watch it with Sam?
Yep.
Because he's watched a lot of PG-13 movies. And then I read the Common Sense media description of it, and it was like a lot of racial, like a lot of racism and violence and threats and for 14 plus. And so we waved it off. But Griffin received it well.
He gave it 3 out of 5 stars. He thought it was
Okay.
I think we were getting a little tired late at night when we were watching and got a little sleepy towards the end. And I'll point out some of his favorite parts as we go through.
Okay. All right.
For context, could you give us, if you have them, any other 3-star movies he's experienced
that he's rated?
Yeah.
This is the first rating I've gotten from him, so
amazing.
I don't know. This is where it begins.
This is the start. Okay, gotcha.
That's really funny. All right, well, let's do some quick BTS. So the Coens were cooking in 1999 when they're getting ready to make their next movie. So their run, started really, Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink, Hudsucker Proxy, then Fargo in 96, Big Lebowski in 98, Oh Brother in 2000, and then continuing on The Man Who Wasn't There, No Country, Burn After Reading, Serious Man, etc. So this was right in the power curve for where those guys were working. And at the height of that power curve, getting to decide what they wanted to do, they were like, hey, how about a Depression-era bluegrass musical loosely based on a Greek epic. That makes sense. Apparently, the title of this film is a joke inside a joke. So there was a fake serious social drama movie that the pretentious director, who's the star of Preston Sturges' 1941 comedy Sullivan's Travels, he was told to instead make something funny. But so this is a movie, obviously, that had a resonance for them. But specifically, and we'll get to the music, obviously, but the music really came first. They worked on the script, but brought in T-Bone Burnett while it was in the process. And the soundtrack was actually recorded before the film was shot, which is actually similar to how they did Inside Llewyn Davis. So this was their first big collab together. So kind of a wild idea when you're like so much, Catcher, we were talking before we started recording, or in the uncut episode, we were talking about the idea of people being afraid to take big swings and to disrupt things. And the idea of saying, like, let's work with somebody we haven't worked with before and have them really have a dramatic impact on what we're making is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Budget, $26 million. Worldwide, $72 million. That's triple. That's triple.
Three-bagger.
3X. Is working. Also at the box office in December of 2000, Castaway, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Unbreakable, which I have never rewatched and would like to revisit at some point. Catcher, I can never remember if this is the one you love or not. Red Planet.
Not the one.
Okay.
Not the one.
Which one's
Mission
yours?
to Mars.
Mission to Mars. Okay, that's the one. Okay, very good.
Is that a Disney ride?
I think it is. One of them is a Disney movie. It was like the
Mission
two
to
Mars
Mars
movies. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did, just FYI, I did Mission to Mars the last time I was at Epcot, and I got very sick because it's on a centrifuge, and it really gives you a stomach ache, and is not recommended. Also, Jeremy Irons' Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That same month.
I never saw that one. I don't even know what that is.
I think I watched it very stoned sometime around then, and it is not good. It's Thora Birch. It's Thora Birch and Jeremy Irons.
Amazing.
So
yeah, it's like I think the like what's it
Ewa
called?
Bowl
like the
maybe
group
directed
is
it.
Like young. Maybe
Ooh,
they're all like young. The cast is young. Like the group of them. I can't think of the proper word.
Jeremy Irons like the dungeon master?
No, he's the evil.
He's evil.
Okay.
I'll take the rod, or so. I remember there's a Rod quote in there somewhere.
That's good. I'm glad you could just pull these lines from.
That's the only thing I remember.
He could pull these lines from Jeremy Irons' Dungeons and Dragons, but has never seen Guernica. It's a real cultural.
Marlon Wayne's also in this movie.
Oh yeah. He
good.
was like the bard or the rogue or something. All right, Jason, where do you want to start?
Oh, I get to start. Okay.
Yeah, you can start. Come on, Summer of Jason.
Summer of Jason.
You can start next week if you make it to the Odyssey. Okay.
I'll start with like the sort of the kind of like the language of the movie, which I think is very fun. It's heightened language, which always love, always a fan.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of in the Coens. We're in the branch of the Coens that includes the Hudsucker Proxy, which of course is a favorite. You get some of this in the Big Lebowski. It's their like, sort of overt comedic vein. It includes like, Hail Caesar and like,
Burn After Reading.
Like a lot of really good sort of comedic work. Part of the way in which that's expressed is through the language of the movie. But like the heightened language of the movie also sort of like evokes the Homeric underpinnings of it, the fact that it is a riff on the Odyssey, because as we talked about in other works that are kind of inspired by epic poetry, like the whole format of epic poetry or things that come from the oral tradition is that it has to be highly structured and repetitive so that like people would remember it and be able to retell it. And so like these kind of repetition of the line and like callbacks of the lines is like meant to be is I think is like sort of like evocative of that mode or appropriate for that mode, but it's also just like stupid funny. Like Griffin really liked the damn we're in a tight spot. The damn we're in a tight spot was a big fave in the early going of the movie. Yeah. And is very funny, like the way he keeps saying it. And then the like similar like there's a lot of like Latin stuff in it, like the paterfamilias and like he's bona fide, like all that stuff is like very funny and keeps coming back again and again. The absolute favorite one, which isn't really I guess Homeric or arch language, is in the theater scene at the end or towards the end where he's like, we thought you was turned into a toad. That one absolutely devastating. Like Griffin was on the floor. He thought that was so funny. So yeah, I really like it.
Even more strident. Like it's so good.
A toad. It's so funny. So I just love I love the language in the movie. I think it's
I
great.
like the Mrs. Head. RUNNOFT.
RUNNOFT. Yeah, exactly.
That's a great runner.
That's a good one. Yeah. It's really funny. There's a lot of good runners, a lot of just good language jokes. It's like the Coens really writing precisely, which delights me. Yeah, I really liked it.
There's just to speak on the we're in a tight spot. There's one point where he says it, but it's not like it's more of like a background thing. Like you can kind of hear it away from the camera. It's kind of whispered, not whispered, but it's like from a distance away, and that one got me the most. It was perfect. Yeah.
The intro between John Goodman and George Clooney, where he's like, Dan Teague, Big Dan, or you're pressed for time, Big Dan, to court. Like that whole thing, like that thing is fantastic. Every line that Goodman gives is great. Yeah.
Yeah, not talking while you're gesturing or whatever, like the eating
gustation,
or whatever.
During gustation.
Yeah, it's just so good. I was reading. I'm almost done with the Iliad. I'm on the last 5%, and there was a reference to unguent, so that made me think
unguent. Yeah.
As well, that ties into my first point, which is, this, I thought this was just loosely inspired by the Odyssey. So I was shocked when it opens with the quote, Tellus, O Muse, which for the record, it's using the Fitzgerald translation, which is the translation that our guest Bajani gave me her copy and said, this is the one to start with. So I was very surprised that it was that literal of a reference to it.
Yeah.
Ulysses is the Latinized version of Odysseus, and so that idea of putting him there. But I was kind of struck, the first thing that really struck me is, Odysseus, spoiler for the Odyssey, is trying to get home to his wife and to his family, but they've made a pretty big change here in terms of Penny and her kind of approach to the whole situation, where she is very much just kind of moving off and just kind of getting rid of him as much as she can, and him having to fight. So I was just kind of curious if you had any take on that.
Well, I mean, it is part of the Odyssey where she's being, she's being sued. There's a lot of suitors. There's a lot of people
correct.
She's not.
She's holding them off for 9 years.
She's holding them off. Yeah. Yeah, well, look, there wasn't anyone, if a Waldrip had showed up, we don't know. Maybe she would have been tempted to, give over Ithaca to this Waldrip fellow who, that guy, I forget this character actor's names, but he shows up, I believe, in Deadwood as the preacher who has epilepsy or has a brain tumor or whatever. He's just an unbelievable part in the middle of there. He's just a real strange looking gentleman.
He's so great. And when he puts up the Dukes to have the fight is so funny.
There's just the Coens really kind of overload this one with weird looking, funny looking faces and interesting people in here. So I was stoked about that.
They really doubled down on the cartoonishness, even the fighting. All the characters are always basically living cartoons. So it makes sense that a lot of the people they have cast in this movie have these sort of exaggerated, strange features and faces and stuff. Yeah.
Totally. But so we have Polyphemus, the Cyclops. We have as Big Dan Teague, John Goodman, who has one eye. We've got the washerwomen as the sirens. We've got Tiresias, who is the blind railroad prophet.
Yep.
So all that stuff and lots more, right? The cattle, the guy shooting the cattle, Babyface. That was the thing that really damned Odysseus's men on the way back. So figuring out a way to work that in. But I was who hates cows more than cops?
Who hates cows more than cops? I don't understand.
That's what he said. The only thing I hate more than cops is cows.
I see. I will say the animal violence in the movie, both the shooting of the cows and the squishing of the frog, were one of the big bumps for Griffin, I think. In those. He was not stoked to see the animals fare poorly. And we had a long discussion about whether the hound dog that the bounty hunters are using survived the flood or not. And I posited I thought the dog survived.
He seemed to be doing well. I mean, he was obviously swimming. Not
swimming.
Yeah, I feel he's good.
I was trying to figure out if that was a practical dog or whether that was a CG dog, and I have to assume it was CG.
That was my assumption as well. It looked very good, though. But I think it helped.
Years ago.
It helped with the sort of that it was so fuzzy. From the depth of the water, that helped, I think, sell it. But I have to imagine.
They might have just thrown a dog in there somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. Where's PETA?
The last big change from the book, and we're going to see this next week when we get to the Odyssey, but there's no Telemachus here. And the Odyssey is a third of the book.
Instead.
Yeah. So Tom Holland is going to be getting his. I think probably, don't you think Holland is going to end up emerging as the biggest breakout, in terms of
he can do something serious or whatever.
Yeah.
He seems to be...
he hasn't.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Catcher.
It just seems like he is a real, like, considering Spider-Man is what's coming up, he seems to be doing a lot of press for this movie in particular. He's been at, like, almost everything.
He's been way out there.
And he's been using a lot of, like, this movie changed the way I've looked at acting. And, like, he's been using a lot of that kind of language. So I think that might lead to what
there's like a lot of things that, like, there's a lot of things that come up where, like, it's like Tom Holland realizes that, like, you know, what actual filmmaking is, not being part of the Marvel system. It's like, if we have a good script, like, people show up and, like, you know, it's like real serious here. And, like, you know, everyone's working really hard. My favorite story that's come out during the Tom Holland press junkets is they were shooting some scene where they, like, flee a cave with fire, and Tom Holland had, like, told Matt Damon how much he loves the Bourne movies, like, repeatedly. And on one of the takes they did when they run out, like, Matt Damon grabs him, throws him to the ground, and says, "Tell me everything you know about Treadstone," like, in the middle of the take, which I love.
That's amazing.
It's pretty strong.
Too good.
Have you ever heard the story of, what's his name, Tim Allen, talking about how he learned?
Yeah, we covered on Galaxy Quest.
Okay, cool. What you just said reminded me very much
totally.
of that story.
It's like, Alan Rickman says, "I think he just discovered acting."
Yeah.
So great.
No, it's true. Well, I'd be great because I think Tom Holland is really a wonderful actor. I love Tom Holland. I mean, I don't know how much of it is his managed sort of vibe versus what's real, but, like, I mean, I think he's very charming. I think he's really good as Spider-Man. I'm excited to see him in this. He hasn't really been given a chance to do much else, frankly.
He hasn't. He's had a couple of things. He did the Doug Liman mind reading movie,
which, like, bombed horribly. No one saw. I never saw it.
No, I never saw it either. It looked terrible. He did that Cherry movie with the Russo brothers, which
never
didn't
saw.
No.
Yeah.
So he definitely has been, I think, struggling, and this is good to get a big breakout here.
Yeah.
Catcher, where do you want to start? What's your first big point?
I guess it's kind of a thing where I've never read the Odyssey. I've never really studied it. I don't really know a lot about it. And I think the one thing that became super apparent to me watching this is, for all the stuff that you've sort of all discussed already, it is fun. It's a good time. But I feel like the real wallop of this movie is dependent on that knowledge. And if you kind of know what's happening and what these things represent and the calls and then the subversions of the things that they're dealing with, like Jason, you mentioned, like, that repetition of dialogue is a sort of interesting connection, not directly. It's not like something that's right out of it, but it's sort of speaking to and about what that story means and the sort of history of the story. And so for me, I think that was the one part of the reason why I struggled in connecting with it, is because beyond, like, the haha and the jokes and all that stuff is really good and it's visually beautiful. I'm sure we'll get to that. It kind of felt like I was always at arm's length from really falling into it. And I think part of that is because I do not have that experience. And I found that to be kind of interesting just from a experiential standpoint. Like, oh yeah, no, there's some research to be done if you want to let it speak more to you than just the sort of surface level stuff. And that was, I like that about it. Pushed you to want to, like, know more. And it pushed me to start, like, looking things up and what's the connection? What's what matches, what doesn't, that sort of thing.
It made you a better person.
It did. Yeah. a more cultured and exciting person. Yeah.
But I wonder if it was kind of like the pressure of you thinking on yourself, like, oh man, I don't know this, and I'm going into this, I'm rewatching this, and I don't really know anything about the Odyssey. I think most people probably saw this, had no clue it had anything to do with the Odyssey at all. Probably didn't even clock the credit when it said it, and then just like, we're like, this is just a fun, crazy, zany movie. With really good music. I think it works on that level. And then there's also an extra. I was kind of surprised, having read the Odyssey, I didn't get that much more out of it this second time, because I'd already heard, John Goodman, he's one-eyed. That's because he's a Cyclops from the Odyssey. I also had never read the Odyssey, so I had no idea what any of that stuff was. I'd heard of the sirens. But that was like the full extent of what I took away from it.
Yeah, and I mean, that was basically what I walked into the movie with the knowledge with anyways, like, same point of view. I think it's more about, like, the way I watch movies, or the way I tend to watch movies, is I'm really trying to get into the nitty gritty of all the different, like, it's not just it's a funny scene, but what does the scene mean, and what are they trying to achieve from it, and what is the larger thematic stuff that they're trying to get at. And I think part of the thematic juice of this movie is in the way it is in with conversation with that story. And so, it doesn't make it a bad movie. I'm just, and I loved it for all of the things that it is. It is funny. I had a great time. I liked going along with the characters. I'd like to see their sort of evolution, and then the stuff that they would get into. It was all really good. I had a great time with it. But like I said, I think the thing that stopped me from getting that sort of deeper connection to it was that sort of lack of understanding. And it's not a bad thing. It like, you know, it excited me to learn more, you know, and I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Sure, for sure.
The best art like makes you ask questions, I think, or be like, oh, I need more context. Give me more. It made me hungry for context, and that's huge for me. So
yeah, nice. Jason, what's your next point, my friend?
Let's talk about the politics of the movie, because I think it's really interesting. You know, like the essential politics is you have like, you know, you've got Pappy O'Daniel, the incumbent governor of Georgia, who's like, you know, discovering mass communication as a way, Mississippi, to like communicate with like the masses over radio. And he's opposed by Homer Stokes, the populist. And Stokes ends up being exposed as like the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. Yes. And it's that exposure, and more specifically his like opposition to the Soggy Bottom Boys, which have taken the state by storm, that leads to the collapse of his, you know, kind of surging campaign, which up to that point seemed destined to kind of unseat Pappy O'Daniel. So like the politics are interesting because it's like you would think like kind of on its face, like Pappy O'Daniel is not really presented as a sympathetic character. And we're not really meant to root for him. I don't think the movie has like, you know, believes that he is a good governor per se. But he sees an opportunity at the end to like kind of be on the side of the Soggy Bottom Boys, and in doing so oust Stokes. But the more interesting thing is the degree to which the movie posits that populist political movements have at their core racial resentment and, you know, racial violence, which is obviously both historically true with like the early 20th century South, but obviously echoes again in contemporary times. I think that's all like really interesting, and like seeing it through a contemporary lens, you're like, oh fuck, like they were fucking right about that one. And then there's the Klan rally in the middle, which is this like really interesting set piece. You know, the Coens love Busby Berkeley musicals. There's like a big Busby Berkeley musical. There's a couple of them in The Big Lebowski and Hail Caesar. They like that kind of thing. They like doing it. But like, you know, it's a way of also showing this like really true part of American history, and how like that kind of spectacle was like an effective recruiting technique for a racial violent terrorist organization. So and then I guess the final thing I'll say about this is that the way that people turn on Stokes is less because he's exposed. It's not, he is exposed as being part of the Klan, and the folks kind of blanch at that, which, like maybe they would or maybe they wouldn't at that time, but they really just can't get down with like being against the Soggy Bottom Boys, which I do think I do think there is something to that, which is like the culture of America being like driven by Black culture and being driven by the fact that it is a multicultural nation does make sort of racial resentment, like it is one of the rocky shoals of racial resentment, because you're like, yeah, but I do love, like, and people find way to squares it. It's not a solve, but like it is like one of the things that makes it difficult. It's like, oh well, yeah, we're not going to get rid of all, like this is our culture. This is what makes us great, is like, is this amalgamation of all these different things, and people don't want that stuff taken away from them or being told that it's bad. So yeah, I thought all that was really interesting.
So in my like contextual hunting after the movie to try and sort of find the connections between the Odyssey and all this other stuff, I came across this video, this YouTube comparison that I found like really illuminating. And it kind of speaks a bit to what you were talking about in terms of his breakdown of the Odyssey was, in a sort of rudimentary thing was, Odysseus is the hunter who becomes the hunted. And his whole story is like they get turned into animals, I guess, and some of them get eaten. And this idea of the hunters become the hunted. And it's this journey of trying to figure out what to, how to find some redemption in his story. And they talk about the fact that the reason he learns that is a bard tells him this story about and connects his actions to this other person, and this is the redeeming thing. And what the video was suggesting is, instead of it being a situation where they are transformed into animals as the punishment for what they have done, the thing that happens to these characters are they are turned into Black people living in the South. And if you sort of, as you go through the movie, the thing that you start noticing is, one, they start people start reacting to them as though they are Black. They mention the fact that they are Black, the fact that Odysseus at one point goes into Hades, and the idea of the whole, them going into the Ku Klux Klan meeting is based, the black equivalent is like, that's their hell, would be like stuck in a meeting like this. And there was a bunch of other really amazing sort of connections between those two things. And I found that all to be really, really interesting. The idea, because I was like, what is it about the South? Like, why set it here? What is it so I mean, obviously they themselves are quite interested in the American South in a lot of their stories, but it was like, what about that? And that to me seemed the most interesting.
In particular.
Yeah, exactly. And because there was a lot of like weird racial things going on, like at the Stephen Root, when they're being asked like, hey, who are these, like what's the band called, the Soggy Bottom Boys,
Soggy
like where
Bottom
are
Boys.
they? And he calls them black. And at that moment, and it's just like
we're black except for the accompaniment.
Right. So the idea is just like, what would the true punishment for bad behavior be in that time? And it would be having to be black in the South. And how that sort of I found that to be really captivating and like sort of really unlocked a lot. For watching
analog with Sinners, like compared, same time period, same location.
Yeah, I'll send you the link if you want, like for the notes or whatever, to put it in there, just if anyone else wants to read it. But yeah, I found that fascinating.
That's super interesting.
Yeah,
hey, I was definitely struck by the Klan rally. Like, to me, that was amazing on many different levels. Like, the first one was obviously just the fire and the orange glow. Like, to me, this was Roger kind of warming up to where he would eventually arrive in Skyfall, the third act of Skyfall, right? With just like the flames everywhere. And so I thought it was just stunning looking visually. And then just as these guys are there chanting and marching and doing their thing and talking about their culture and their heritage, and I was just like, these are the dumbest motherfuckers ever. And there's still so many of these pathetic losers who are using racial animus to go after other people and blaming people for what is happening in their lives. And it's just that part was quite depressing to just think about, like, how are we ever going to break out of this? And the end.
The struggle continues.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
Music will probably get us out of there. Let's talk about the music. So T-Bone Burnett is the muse of this film. He started out, he was Dylan's guitarist in the mid-70s Rolling Thunder band.
Oh, crazy. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. But then he was obviously rose to real prominence as an American roots producer. So Elvis Costello, Los Lobos, Counting Crows, Gillian Welch later did the Robert Plant, Alison Krauss album, did the soundtrack to True Detective, season 1.
Season 1, cool.
So really, really amazing. And then, of course, as we said, they kind of really stepped it up from here to when you get to Inside Llewyn Davis. They're like, dear Oscar, you're going to have to play live. You're going to have to sing live. You're going to have to do everything. So this is like a nice kind of starting point here.
Yeah, George Clooney not singing in this movie.
Famously not singing in this, yeah.
Yes. Well, they thought he could sing because he's a Clooney and his aunt is a very famous singer, but very clearly he was not able to do that. But this idea of them, the Soggy Bottom Boys, like doing a quick little diversion, recording to make a little bit of money, and then ending up with this crazy runaway hit. This movie with this soundtrack with almost no radio play sold 8 million copies.
Yeah.
It's the number one on the Billboard 200, won Grammy for Album of the Year, and T-Bone Burnett won Producer of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, I knew every song that was, I loved the soundtrack of this movie, and I knew every song that was in the soundtrack. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I know all of these. I was like singing along, and like, like it was great. I really loved it. I thought it was wonderful.
There's something truly magic in like his opening. There's like a tone there. There's a magic in that sound that is like touches a part inside my body that is just like, it's magical. It's just one of those like magic music moments. It's just it's touching.
It really is delightful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great stuff, and it's like, it is really fun, like art imitating art, where it's just like, oh yeah, like the song is a bop. Like, it's like, no wonder the people in Mississippi went ham and they couldn't keep it on the shelves.
Right. Yeah.
So apparently it was an early 1900s folk standard by Stanley Brothers. and Burnett originally pitched it for the dude in Lebowski before moving it here instead. And Dan Tyminski, who was in Alison Krauss's band Union Station, was the one who was actually singing the lead. So really, really incredible. They also did a concert documentary called Down from the Mountain in May of 2000. It's not streaming anywhere, but it is available on YouTube. I started watching it. It's freaking awesome. They did a national tour that grossed $10 million.
Wow.
Crazy.
Of Down from the Mountain.
And I guess that like sort of set the stage for like the Llewyn Davis live concert stuff. Yeah.
Which is incredible as well. That's Another Day, Another Time is the documentary movie for that, which is absolutely, it's like, it takes this documentary to an entirely new level.
Yeah, folks should listen to our Llewyn Davis episode. That's a really good one.
It is good.
Who is traveling in that act, like for that tour?
Just a bunch. You had a bunch of. So I think Alison Krauss. You had Emmylou Harris.
Oh, cool.
Ralph Stanley was like the guy who was really famous, and then Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings are this incredible duo. She's an amazing vocalist who's done a ton of stuff, Decemberists and other things, and her own stuff. Her husband Dave Rawlings plays guitar, is an incredible singer, and she was an associate music producer as well on this, and you could tell had a very, very strong hand in what was going on. But even Chris Thomas King as Tommy Johnson, the young blues musician who sold his soul. What a presence by this guy!
This great haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, great haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Johnson, right?
Yeah, and Stephen. Yeah, he's doing Robert Johnson exactly.
Yeah. The Coens love folk music. They are big folksters, it would seem.
Yes. It's a great kind of music. Roots,
folk
American
does nothing
roots
for me outside of In the Hands of the Coens. Yeah,
Really?
I like the Decemberists too, I guess I'll say. But like, it's not like I'm like, oh yeah, let's go get some 78s or whatever. Like, fire up some old timey bullshit. Like
you can you can fire up a playlist that's Americana roots music, and you'll enjoy it. There's definitely a lot of good stuff.
I doubt I will, but
That's kind of why I've never really watched Inside Llewyn Davis, but you guys are really selling it right now.
It's great.
You've never seen the movie?
It's great. Yeah,
I've never seen it.
It's really good. You should watch that one. That one's really good.
Okay.
And
remarkable performance by Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. Okay. Also, their first one in a long time that they did without Roger. They had Bruno Lubieski or whatever. I don't know his last name, but
Cuccinelli.
It's an amazing looking film. It looks very different from what they've done. It's quite cool.
Okay. Cool, yeah.
Catcher, what is your next point?
Speaking of how it looks, like the look of it.
This was my third point too.
Great.
My goodness. They do this thing right at the beginning because there's like two intros kind of. There is like the blurb. Well, it doesn't matter. There's a blurb and then it goes to them like the chain gang. And then I think it's after the chain gang that there's a fade, or maybe it's to the chain gang that there's a fade. But it looks like they're exposing film, like what you would see inside a dark room when you were putting it in the solution. Like you would have this strip and then you'd dump it in there and it sort of slowly fades. And it fades into this like wonderful brownish, sepia color. And I was
almost
like,
a black and white vibe, right? Like it had.
Yeah, for sure. Taking out a lot of the color, and I was already excited. And then from then on out, it does so many wonderful things with color. Obviously, I think this is widely known as like the first film ever did like color corrected digitally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because he couldn't figure out a way of making it real. And
it
never feels distracting.
It's supposed to be like during the Depression, like during the Dust Bowl or whatever, but they went to Mississippi and shot it during the spring, and it is not a Dust Bowl, so it was like incredibly verdant. And so it was just very green, lush, like almost jungle-like environment, so it didn't really sell the time. So they shot the movie on 35, scanned it in digitally, color corrected it digitally, which is now like sort of a standard thing, but this was like one of the very first movies ever do that. And the color correction like took out all of the green and replaced it with this like sepia tone. And there's parts of the movie where I think there are like some artifacts of that you can tell where it's like something like kind of looks artificial or whatever, like something kind of like stands out. But as a whole, it's a really, I think, effective, it's an effective way of doing the thing that they were trying to do. So yeah, that was my third point as well, was that that technically they did something here that had like kind of never.
Yeah. The scene when they're walking to the farm and the little boy is shooting at the ground in front of them.
Yeah.
There's the shot of the boy, like the blue is like suddenly like really stark.
Exactly.
Exactly. This is not
parts
black and white.
Exactly. Yeah. No, there's parts where that was one of the parts I was thinking of, was the part on the farm. There's something where it's like, oh wait, something went awry here.
Yeah. I
but
like
Deacon's,
like what's it called? Nosferatu. Was that last year?
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
And then the werewolf movie that's coming this year.
Yeah,
Robert Eggers really kind of playing with what black and white means. Like obviously, both of those films are shot in color. Nosferatu does everything it can to just get rid of color whenever it can.
It's like black and silver looking.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean it's not. I mean it is, but it's not. It's not just like there is color in there. There is like color the production design and the costume designing and all that stuff is designed to just to just show very little color.
Orthochromatic or something like that is like what it's called.
For werewolf, I think they did. Yeah, I believe that's like the film they used. Film stock they used for that, but it's a sort of similar thing where other than when they really ramp it up like you were mentioning, like there's a part with the sirens where everything is like really gold,
really
and it's
vibrant.
Like, it's amazing. I just like his play with it. It isn't just doing black and white. He is just really using color in these really fun ways. Yeah, I'm all down for
Griffin
it.
couldn't quite understand why the sirens were, seductive, like what was going on there. He's like, why are they messing with these ladies? Like, what's going on? I was like, well, they're into it. They're
learning a lesson.
They're learning. Yeah.
That is.
He did ask a question that I didn't have a good answer to, which is why is Pete the only one who is
directly affected?
Yeah, like he's like turned in. I mean, like he's not turned into a toad, but he is like the only one who's basically turned in for the bounty. Why did the other two not get turned in?
It's because they woke up before they had a chance to finish working on the rest of them. So they were working on Pete first, and then they were going to do the rest of them after.
I see.
That scene of them waking up and like the way the clothes are laid out.
Yeah,
and it's like they've left his heart. Yeah, and then it comes out as a toad. You're like, oh my god, this is.
And
wonderful.
The way he fucks with the toad in the river, he's like trying to get. He's like clearly he's just hopping. Like I was like, man, what a tough one for Tim Blake Nelson to go like film and flop around in this Mississippi Creek or whatever to like get a frog. It's like
he nails it. He nails it. Yeah, there's like a desperation in the flopping. Yeah, it's wonderful. I love it.
Well, that's actually my last major point is just this cast, right? And especially the three of them. So let's start with Tim Blake Nelson as Delmar. And we had him not in a good performance in Minority Report just a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, as the warden.
Yeah, exactly. That was pretty lame. But here, he is it's just an amazing performance. And as he's also a classics trained Ivy Leaguer in real life. So I think it's just amazing to see him doing this kind of performance and being such a goofball.
Yeah, he's really fun. He's such a great gift for the Coens, frankly. Like he's just perfect for them. Yeah, he's funny as hell. I love him.
We'll never see his scenes from Dune Part 1, unfortunately, or Dune Part 2.
What was he supposed to be in? What was he supposed to be?
I think he was Tuick, maybe. Maybe it was Dune Part 2. He was
Dune Part
Tuick.
2. He's supposed to be Tuick. So funny.
Yeah, we thought he was going to be Fenring, but
God, in my fantasy, he was Fenring.
There's
the Fenring dinner scene with Tim Blake Nelson. Can you imagine?
My God.
But
Turturro. So for me, obvious Miller's Crossing, Stan, and he does some Miller's Crossing moves in here for sure. Some of his, kind of like distress when he is going to be killed and stuff is going on. But I love him and his kind of like, I'm vote for me. And just like the way he's pushing on these guys.
I'm with you, fellas.
I love them. They've got money now, but they steal that pie and they take off. And I love that he comes back and like puts money under the rock. And I was just like, it's such a great, because he's like, I'm trying. I've been saved. I've been cured. I've been baptized. I can't be doing any bad things. And he's like, he's trying his best to just like play straight. And I love that. I love that performance for it.
Really good. And then Clooney, you talked a little bit about the fight scene earlier between him and Waldrop. Clooney looks so funny. He's getting smashed in the face and gets tossed out and beaten. And his willingness to just be a buffoon on screen for the Coen brothers.
I know.
Whether it's this or Hail Caesar or in Burn After Reading.
Yeah.
you don't, again, talk about a fearless choice that leads to, just glory. It's
I need to
amazing.
rewatch. I've only seen Intolerable Cruelty one time, and I doubt it's like
Same.
the best. I doubt like it's going to dramatically improve. But
I just
like
remember him getting his teeth bleached.
Oh yeah, there's a whole teeth thing in it. I just would like to I'd like to see it again anyway. So.
Yeah, when he's with the Cyclops and he's grabbing the branch and he's just like has no idea what's happening to him. He's just like, "What's going on? What are you doing?" And even as he starts beating on Delmar, he's still kind of just like nodding along, just like having with it. And he plays it so perfectly.
Yeah.
So funny. Apparently he struggled on day one playing him as a straight idiot in filming. And then Joel pulled him aside with the only direction he'd need for the rest of the shoot. Just remember, you're the smartest guy in the room in every room you walked into. And Clooney was like, oh, fuck, of course.
Right. That's great.
So that was the turning.
What an interesting direction.
I love stories of like actors getting good direction. And like what that sounds like. There's the two others that I think of. There's a Gary Oldman talking about getting direction from Christopher Nolan, in which he says, he's like, I only got like one note. I worked with Christopher Nolan like across 7 years on 3 pictures and all the Batman movies. Yeah. And he's like, and the only note I remember him ever giving was he came up to me once after a take, he paused and he said, let's do it again. There's more at stake. I was like, got it. That's all I need to know. Like, and like for whatever reason, for Gary Oldman, that was like, just like, I've got it. And then I just heard one on the truly excellent Matt Damon, again, in like Christopher Nolan's story. This isn't Christopher Nolan, but he was talking about working on The Informant, which is a Soderbergh I've not seen. He talks about Soderbergh a lot. Matt Damon does, and how much he loves Soderbergh. He's done like some crazy number. He's done some crazy number of Soderbergh movies, like a truly insane number.
Really?
And he loves Soderbergh. He loves working with Soderbergh. The way Soderbergh works is like, he describes it as like Soderbergh like can see the Matrix, and it's just like, he can totally just like understand the movie he's cutting as he's shooting it. Anyway, in The Informant, Matt Damon has to give the speech to the town in which he like sort of confesses or apologizes or whatever, and he got choked up doing it. And Soderbergh came over and was like, nope. Not it. And Matt Damon got pissed. He's like, this wasn't like me like trying to be all actorly. Like I just like, I really felt it in the moment, man. Like, fuck you. And he's like, no, like that's not, you're in the wrong movie. Like, he's like, okay, well, put me in the right movie. He's like, the right movie is, it's an acceptance speech. They're all here for you. And he was like, great. Got it. Like, and like, I like the idea of how to direct people is so weird to me. And so interesting. Like, and both of those notes don't sound, all 3 of those notes don't sound like fucking anything to me, but apparently like work on some of the greatest actors in the history of the profession. So it's really interesting. It's really interesting to me.
Yeah, my algorithm is always feeding me videos, but it's always like, what's the worst note you ever gotten?
Yeah.
And oftentimes I see those videos and I'm like, that sounds like a good note. Well, obviously I'm not a so who do I know? But I'm like, that seemed like that should have been good, but obviously it's not useful at all. And you realize like it's a different job.
Apparently they hate it when actors hate it when you tell them like you acted. So you can't ever tell them like, here's how to do it. Like you can't like sort of like be like, no, like, like you can't be too literal with the direction you give them. And so you instead have to find this like sort of Bene Gesserit mind trick to like get them to do the thing you want. I find it fascinating. The whole business of making movies, there's just no way I would be well suited for any part of it. It seems very stressful and like I have no talent in any of the disciplines required, but it's endlessly fascinating to hear about the technique involved.
I remember hearing Deacon, speaking of Roger, him talking about how oftentimes when because he would operate all the time as DP.
Right.
And he would say that routinely it would just be him and the actor. He would always be the closest in with them shooting. And this like really intimate moment, the director would like shout something out or whatever. And occasionally the actor would like ask him for feedback and just like that notion of closeness was very meaningful to him, which is cool. I think it was when he was interviewing Jake and talking about what it was like. Amazing. I only have just a couple of honorable mentions. Charles Durning, the GOAT, his performance as Pappy O'Daniels is so funny in this movie, and he's constantly hitting his son with his hat, throwing the hat, getting the hat back, throwing it again.
Very unflattering costumes for him and the son in this movie.
Yeah, very, very high waist.
High-waisted, yeah.
Very, very high-waisted. This guy, The Sting, Dog Day Afternoon, The Muppet Movie, When? The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. I think he might have gotten an Oscar nom. Tootsie, When, Hudsucker Proxy, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And I think he did like that Mammoth movie. What was the Mammoth poker movie where the guy has to build the wall if he loses the poker game? Do you remember that one?
I don't remember that one.
No.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, that was some crazy shit. Just really, really, I loved his performance and made it work for me. Anything we missed, you guys?
No, it's really
I
fun.
don't think so. Yeah, agreed.
It's a really fun movie. I loved watching it. And I love the Coens. I wish they would get back together and make another movie. I really just feel.
Do you think that's possible? Do you think it's like?
I don't know. I feel they're kind of
like,
done.
Yeah.
It feels like they're done. Like, I don't know why, but it feels like they're over it. And it's sad for me.
Mm-hmm.
Sad for me that they're done.
Have you liked any of their post like individual work?
I don't think I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen. I mean, so I don't know. They might be great. I haven't seen Macbeth, and I didn't see the other one did. So
Macbeth one, I think, is really
He's done
good.
3.
Yeah. Tim worked on that one, and then the Margaret Qualley stuff is supposed to be pretty decent. So
Driveway Dolls was okay. I don't know. I didn't find it particularly
okay
powerful.
I mean, yeah, I don't expect it to be the same. Sorry, a couple more honorable mentions. You talked about the beginning Catcher when they were like chasing the chicken and stuff, and they cut back and forth to the credits with no sound and just the music playing, and then just that interleaving back and forth. I thought the editing of that was really amazing. The baptism scene where the music is playing felt to me like the tree scene in 1917 at the end where he's hearing the prayers or the hymns or whatever, and he's walking through to get to the people. Made me want to rewatch 1917 as soon as possible. Also, just the idea of people in the 1930s standing or the 40s, just you're standing in a field in the middle of nowhere, and every once in a while, somebody from out of town will drive in and something will happen, and maybe it'll be exciting. Maybe things will change, or maybe they'll just keep driving, and that's it. That idea of the isolation of what it was like to be on a farmstead or a homestead back in the days is pretty interesting.
Yeah, there wasn't shit out there.
Not much going on.
I had to explain baptism as we were watching the movie and be like, well, it's like this thing. And
guys, who would Tilda Swinton play?
Oh, I was thinking like either of the politicians. Was interesting to me.
Yep.
I think just the little guy for Homer Stokes, like the little person,
the little man, right?
Yeah, the little man.
Why? What was the deal with that? I didn't know what that was.
It was just a gimmick. It was like, that's one of the best lines in the movie where it's like, it's a sophisticated campaign. He's got the broom and the little guy.
Well, because his slogan is Stokes for the little man. Like the idea of him being like it's for everyone. So then they like literally had a little man on stage, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
That's funny. Reform. We got to get some of that.
We got to get some of that reform.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to go with Big Dan. Let's see
Big Dan.
With
Too
the,
sweet.
With the eye patch.
Too court.
All right, guys, are you ready for some quick voicemails?
Quick voicemails.
And Griffin.
Right.
And Griffin.
Review.
I'll call Griffin in after voicemails.
And Griffin. Well, I have Sam here. So Sam
great.
and Griffin, after voicemails, Sam and Griffin can record a stinger on the podcast. All right, here is our first voicemail, and it does not have a sounder to play.
Hello, Escape Hatch. This is your friendly Rusty Surfer checking in.
Yay.
I'm actually in Arizona right now, and I'm from Florida, and I actually will say that I think I prefer the humidity over this heat. I went through a dust storm a couple nights ago, and that was not fun on my eyes. I'm really excited about this Oh Brother, Where Art Thou recording. I know that there may be some differing opinions on it, and that's okay. Everyone has the right to like movies more than others. But, let's not judge too hard. The Coen brothers have never actually read the Odyssey. We'll just take them at their word for that. They're always very honest in interviews. But I just want to say this is a movie I've watched more than any other movie in my life. I can pretty much quote the entire thing all the way through. It was very important to my family and my friends who'd come over and just run through the jokes. We're mass communicating here. Are you in an OFT? How's my hair? All of these things are things I say probably too often, but, Christine's adopted it and been real fun with it. But I just wanted to say I'm excited for the Odyssey. We'll see if Christopher Nolan's got the skill set to take on such a heavy subject matter. Try to top the Coen brothers. We'll see. I guess he does have some more money and some better cameras, but he doesn't have Roger Deakins. All right, y'all. Thank you for covering this episode. I feel like maybe I've willed it into existence over the last 4 or 5 years. Appreciate y'all covering it. Always love the pod. Love the community. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Oh, what a great voicemail. That was a delight. I love hearing from our infrequent voicemailers. And Rusty did really will this one into existence. And I'm glad he did. I was really worried because we had to change to a Monday recording because I'm flying tomorrow. And I was like, oh, this is going to be the thing that kills it for sure. Is we're going to lose this pod. It felt doomed, but we did it. We didn't lose the pod. We made it.
We did it. Heroes. All right, here is our, thank you so much, Rusty. Really, really love it. Here is our next voicemail.
This is your brother, Animal Mother.
All right, let's go.
Wow.
Hello, animal friends and animal lovers. In his least challenging role, George Clooney plays a handsome doofus in the third out of his 4 Coen Brothers collaborations. As our dapper Dan man, he's marginally slicker than his chainmates, Prickly Pete and Dim Delmar, forming a trio of mostly decent guys running across a Depression-era Magnolia state. Their constant sorrows include a hunting party from Hades, a baby-faced cow killer, washerwomen sirens, a horny toad, and a Bible-thumping Klansman Cyclops. Amusing as all those are, Papio Daniel is the standout guy for me. In this farcical Odyssey, he's an imperfect but seasoned political animal that ignores pain in the ass advisors to capitalize on the pop sensation of the Soggy Bottom Boys. Wouldn't it be nice to have such a guy in our corner? A place where he's gonna
Wow.
That's commitment.
What in Sue's name does Penny mean by bona fide? Thank you all, and especially my boy Java the most. See you at the Sticks Pop trolley and keep the change, you filthy animals.
That was a great one.
Wow.
Thank you, Animal Mother.
We had a party on Friday night, and Sam, for all of his fellow rising third graders, suggested putting on Star Wars Rogue One, and we started it, and all of the girls that were at the party where they just immediately noped out, and they went to the other TV and they started Home Alone 1. And within about 10 minutes, all of the kids had gone up except for Sam to go watch Home Alone. Yeah, so we went and got Sam. We're like, you got to come up. And he loved it. But it was fun. I showed up just in time to quote the "Keep the change, you filthy animals." So
yeah,
incredible.
That's what that was. Home Alone is a great one. That is a great one. Kids love seeing the Soggy. Is it the Soggy Bandits? Isn't that the
I don't remember.
I think that's for something like that.
Yeah, because they're wet.
I just cried a lot at the end when the old man got the whatever.
Oh God.
Bona fide just means, is it worthy or not? Yes or no?
The wet bandits and the sticky bandits. Sorry.
The wet bandits.
Wet bandits.
The Soggy bandits. But
all
related.
Right. Here is our next voicemail.
Mr. Java. Wow, amazing.
Said, oh, brother, for too long now. Know that you want to find your way. Time is how you let the devil take. I said, Tommy, you know that it's not too late. We got to get off on a stay one step ahead of the grave. George Clooney is a fop man, you see. No dapper man, keep. I gotta sing into this can. Oh, the Odyssey, 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 the Odyssey.
Jeez. Oh my
God.
God.
Yeah. Let's keep it real. And let me ask you a question. What's the most harrowing journey that you've ever taken? Maybe on a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
And or what's a personal styling product that you cannot live without and would never, ever, never, ever, ever, ever substitute? I'll answer the questions, fellas.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. What a jam.
Nice.
Listen, Matt, you must have some real styling products that you're committed to at this point.
Bumble and Bumble styling paste.
That's what does this. That's what does this. That's amazing.
That's how it happens.
That's what's responsible.
That's how it happens. I mean, I'm like way overdue for a haircut, so
Right,
but yeah,
interesting.
Don't rub it in.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Most harrowing journey, like I'm become a much more nervous flyer, but still I had this emergency landing in Philadelphia for a flight that was supposed to land in Newark when I was going back to school, 26 years ago. Kathleen Turner was on the flight, and I was sitting next to a psychic, and the psychic did not know that we were going to have an emergency landing. And I felt that was kind of,
Telling? Yeah.
It was telling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that one stands out as just like, okay, it felt like we were gonna fucking die.
Jesus.
I didn't love it. A couple bad landings. Had a bad landing in the Maldives on a waterplane, a seaplane, where we hit a supercell like going in for a landing, and it didn't feel good. I don't know. Flying is a real thing people should do. I'm against it. I'm flying tomorrow though, so what can you do?
I drove from Minneapolis to San Francisco in one drive, so 26 hours, and
no sleeping.
No sleeping. I drove through we left at like 11 a.m. on Saturday, and I drove from 11 a.m. until 5 a.m. when we hit Salt Lake City. And I was like falling asleep, and Highway 80 was actually closed. They like redirected to surface streets, which I'd never seen that before. And so we went and had breakfast at a Denny's, and I immediately fell asleep at the table. And then I managed to make my way out to the car, and I had my buddy Parker driving. And I woke up like an hour later, and we were like right in the middle of the Salt Flats. And this was in the end of January, and it was a complete whiteout. We were driving 20 miles an hour. He was behind a car right in front of us that was driving at a flurry of snow coming down. And I was like, if we go off the road in 10 feet, like they're going to find us in 2 months.
Yeah, you'll never be found.
That was a harrowing hour. And then once we got to the Nevada border and the mountains rose up, I was like, okay, we're going to make it. It's going to be okay.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Catcher, what about you?
Okay, I have two. I'll try and do them quick. So the first one was I did a cross-country trip to go to where I worked at the restaurant with my brother. He came to visit me there.
Yeah.
And it was like in this weird...
With your dad.
With my dad, exactly. And my dad drove the whole time because he's quite controlling about wanting to be the one who's driving, and decided at one point, no, Mike, it's your turn to drive. And it was like the one time we actually hit crazy snow where you couldn't see anything in front of you. And we were driving across Saskatchewan, which, if you don't know, is just flat. It's unbelievably flat. You can see for miles and miles. It's just flat, flat, flat. And so I was stuck behind a tractor trailer, and it was like crazy snow. Like you couldn't see more than like a few feet in front of you. And
so there's no way to pass them.
Well, the thing was like we had to pass because it was so bad behind him, and we were moving so slow that was like we have to pass. So I'm responsible.
You just got to go on faith.
Exactly. So I move into this sort of passing lane, and I start moving ahead and moving ahead and moving ahead. And we get to where the truck bed should be, and it's not. It's actually a double trailer. So now it's just the beginning of the
double
second.
Wide.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, so this is okay. Just keep it together. The wind is crazy. The snow is crazy. I can't see. And then I pull. And eventually,
how much have you stepped? Like, are you stepped hard on the gas? Like, are you like all the way in?
Yeah,
there's
and just like
left.
Just go.
I'm giving her all she's got.
Yeah, basically. My dad was like, "It's okay, just go." And like and so we got through, and it was fine, but it was quite harrowing. And then the only other time was also weirdly enough in Vancouver. I went to go visit my brother a few years before this, and we were going camping. It was a bunch of us, and I'd rented a car with a couple people. I am normally a pretty chill driver. Pretty slow driver. I don't like to speed. I find it incredibly dangerous and unsettling. But where we were going wasn't like a mapped place. It was like a random, like off the beaten track area that I had never been to. And so my responsibility was to just keep up with the people who knew how to drive or where we were going. And so, but they just kept like pulling further and further ahead of me. So I was speeding to catch up. But we were on these like winding roads. Like there's a road, the sea to sky, I think it's called, where it's right on the edge of a bunch of mountains, and beside you is just the ocean, which is gorgeous, but it's winding. And so I'm like pedal down, winding in and out of any lane possible just to like keep up and like verging like 1, 2, and I have like the sort of, there's a system in the car that I was driving that was like, hey, heads up, you're changing lanes, like a safety feature, and that thing just was going off constantly, and you're gonna die. Yeah, it's like, hey, you're mixing. Oh no, you're mixing in. Oh, you're mixing in. You're mixing in. It's like, I don't care. I'm trying to, and everyone in the car
trying to live here.
Exactly, and I have 2 people that were in the car with me that I am guaranteed they tell people to this day how much of a psychotic driver I am, and talk, I'm sure, terrible shit about my ability to drive. And it's like, this is not further from the reality of how I drive normally. I just didn't want to be left behind. And yeah, it's really funny.
That's crazy.
That stressed you out.
Yeah,
that
it was very stressful. Yeah,
I'm sorry. That's a hard thing when you're like anxious and like like you're put in a spot that you're not in control.
Yeah,
that's a hard thing to deal with.
Yeah, I drove my friend like a month ago, And I was like, I'll just take you home from where we are. And they all got in cautiously and were like, we heard about the drive.
We heard about you.
And I was like, for God's sakes, it's not true.
God damn it.
Yeah, so funny.
It's also 6 years ago. Yeah, come on, get over it.
Exactly. But, it's cool.
All right, guys, here is our next voicemail. A truth sayer. Thank you, Beria, for recording this today.
Hey, y'all. Beria here. Oh, brother, where art thou? Gives us Tim Blake Nelson as Delmar, sweet, credulous, absolutely convinced he's been washed clean of all of his life of sin. It's the perfect performance from a wonderful actor and a very interesting man. For today's Truth Sayer, 3 stories about Tim Blake Nelson before Hollywood found him. 2 of these are fiction. 1 is true. Time for the Truth Sayer. Number 1. After graduating from college, Nelson spent 18 months working for his family's oil and gas business in Tulsa, Oklahoma, before his father sat him down and told him he was the worst businessman he'd ever seen and he should go do something else immediately. Or is it number 2? Nelson was a classics major at Brown University, and in 1986, he delivered the senior orator address at commencement entirely in Latin. Or is it number 3? After Brown, Nelson enrolled in orthopedic surgery at Johns Hopkins, completing enough of his residency to assist on several hip and knee replacements before walking away to go pursue acting full-time. Which of these Tim Blake Nelson stories is true?
Well, H, you screwed him because you gave us some of this information already. Earlier.
You screwed him.
Yeah, but it feels like could be 2 or 3 in that way. But I think it's 2.
I think it's 2 as well.
I think I screwed it up. Let's
You
see.
screwed
I do think that 1. I think 1 is maybe a bit true, but most there's a falsity.
I like the fantasy of 1.
Yeah.
Somewhere Beria is eating his hat in rage at my unfairness. Here we
go. H.
Did you find the true Tim Blake Nelson story? It's number 2. Tim Blake Nelson addressed his entire graduating class in classical Latin. Tim's credited his foundational studies in Latin, which he began in middle school and pursued throughout college, with providing him an underlying structure that organizes his critical thinking and informs how he writes and directs films.
Amazing.
Sounds just like Delmar. How do you say truth sayer in Latin? Verdicator.
Verdicator.
Well, yeah,
I like that.
Hic finitur verdicator.
Oh, that's good.
Jason, you strike me as somebody who took Latin in high school.
I never took Latin, never took classics. I like the idea of it. I was just taking French, and so I was not going to add on another one.
Okay.
And the Latin kids were a little weird, frankly.
Okay.
I took when I went to nerd camp where I learned how to do the Rubik's Cube. I took a couple weeks worth, 3 weeks worth of Greek, which is not really enough to learn anything, but it was totally interesting. Just because it is the classical languages are just sort of, if you've got a very lefty brain, it's just okay, tell me about your systems of cases and whatnot. And it's it's pretty fun. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe another life I'll learn Latin. It'd be good.
Maybe another life.
Yeah.
All right, here is our next voicemail from Astor Place.
It's Gay Patch, it's Kev here. Beautiful, if a little overcast afternoon here in the East Village. Last minute recording, hence the return to the AirPods. So sorry in advance.
That's
this
great.
week,
We
Oh
love
Brother,
it.
Where Art Thou? One of my dad and I's favorite movies and one of my uncle's favorites too. He had the soundtrack and we loved that thing.
Mm-hmm.
The soundtrack to this movie is incredible. It is, don't catcher, don't get mad. It is almost as good as the movie itself. Almost.
Don't get mad,
Beautiful
Catcher.
world building, etc. Kev's question. Thinking a lot about Dune lately because I don't know if you guys have heard there's this movie coming out. So if Dune were to have a vibes soundtrack, like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou has, one of the great soundtracks ever in film, would be the artists, what would be the vibe of the Dune soundtrack?
Come on.
I'm imagining Fremen bands talking about the toils of combating these spice harvesters or something. So if Denny's Dune trilogy were to have vibes soundtracks like the excellent one in A Brother Where Art Thou, who would be the artists? What would they be in the universe? And what would they be singing about? All right. Yeah, that sounds good. Peace and love, guys. I'll talk to you all very soon. Also, that trailer, dudes. Unreal.
Looks good,
All
right?
Bye.
Looks good. Yeah, I like that.
Once
Kev's
again,
excited.
it's Kev's question.
Kev's feeling it. He's feeling it. He's ready.
This is
Hell
good.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's Joy Division rarities for sure, right? For Dune. I just think it would be amazing. It would be phenomenal. Just Joy Division demo tapes. It would be great.
I was going to say Dark Synth Wave, but definitely Daniel, what is it? 0 Point, whatever his name is, LaPointe or whatever that guy's name is from the Good Time soundtrack.
Aphex Twin also good. Like,
For sure.
like, the Square Pusher, like anything from like the
Ministry?
heyday of IDM. I think I would go, I mean, like you'd be tempted to go sort of industrial.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my personal fantasy, but I wouldn't get mad about it. Tool, I think, another good choice. Yeah.
Tragically Hip with a hidden track at the end.
My God. Please. That would be great. Yeah, that's a good. The Joy Division pull I like because I agree with you. There's some avenues that you kind of want to go down at first glance that I think is wrong, and I like that actually very much.
Yeah.
What about the in world band though? That had me also questioning or thinking about.
I mean, you go back to the Lynch movie, right? Had the guy squeezing the pain pipes. Those are pretty good.
What about or the what's it called? The bagpipes from the.
Oh yeah.
The first one, some
that
sort
too.
of something would have been great.
But it turned out it was actually guitars. It was never bagpipes. It just sounded. It was a guitar made to sound like bagpipes. So
man, I'm still continuing my Americans rewatch. I'm in season 6, and
Jesus
I will say,
Christ.
I've been just like having it on my phone while we've been building the Barad-dûr Lego set.
Yeah.
And it is so good. I like the Americans has kind of a little bit of a lull in sort of season 3. There's like sort of a weird like moment in the middle where they're kind of like, okay, this show's a hit. We got to keep going. And like they kind of play with like a villain of the season kind of structure. And it's like, it's less effective. But then by the time you get to season 6, where Kerry Russell's just like totally like strung out, like, and like, having to like do like all these ops at the same time and is just like kind of completely been broken by being a spy and living all these multiple lives. It's so good, and one of the ways in which they convey that is through soundtrack. And the soundtrack's phenomenal throughout the entirety of the show, like starting with like Tusk and like continuing to the end. Like it's back to back, like amazing. But like there's some good Talking Heads in the middle. There's like some good Leonard Cohen in the middle.
Because
like
the years are going by, right?
Yeah,
like
and so it's just really. I mean, it's also my era. Like it's like music I love, but like it's so strong, the soundtrack. And they use needle drops so effectively. Amazing show. The rewatch is really just giving me everything I ever wanted. Love
amazing. I could barely watch X-Men 97, 28-minute episodes, 23-minute episodes and try to get caught back up. It's good. All right,
I'm not current on House of the Dragon either.
But
I did watch
episode
3. I'm one episode back, and episode 3 really
right?
I sent a note to Condal. I was like, you guys have found something. You've figured something else out. Like, it's really, really good. Like, it's really quite good.
Oh, yeah. 4 is the mid-season finale. And I think it's big. So, yeah, I'm watching that tonight. That's definitely happening. All right, here's our last voicemail.
Hey, Pat, this is Corey calling from Austin, Texas about, brother, where art thou? Coen Brothers, 2000. Can you believe I just now watched this movie for the first time ever? I avoided this movie like the fucking plague because I worked in the record store when this movie came out, and this soundtrack was such a pain in my fucking ass for all the NPR tote baggers coming in from this, and then that whole Down from the Mountain bullshit. Oh my God. I was a man of constant sorrow having to shill that fucking CD and fucking price hundreds of copies of it. I was so fucking sick of it.
I love this.
So I refused to watch the movie, even though I knew it was probably pretty good. Turns out it was good. I liked it. Clooney is really funny in this. He's great. I like it when he's doing this kind of shtick. He doesn't do it too terribly often. No. I like it. Turturro's always great. And then, what's his face? Tim Blake Nelson. I love that dude. He's great in this. I especially love when he sang in the Jailhouse now. That was super good.
In the Jailhouse.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Holly Hunter is like kind of wasted in this. She's good, but I wish there was almost like more of her character in this for some reason. But anyway, everyone else is fucking phenomenal as usual in the Coen Brothers movie, and it looks gorgeous. So there you go. Not really the Odyssey, so that was kind of misleading. It's kind of like if you put the Odyssey and a little jumble there and kind of mix some shit up. But I like it. I like the allusions to it. What I did do is watch that Preston Sturges movie, Sullivan's Travels, right after watching this, which I'd never seen before. Turns out that Sturges guy could make a movie, huh? I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I highly recommend it. Really fucking funny, but also really interesting and, pretty serious. Depression kind of sucks. Whew. Hope we never have to find out what that's like, right? Okay, I got to wrap this up. Who would Tilda Swinton play? She played that little person with that little broom. That's kind of my favorite.
Great, Corey.
Guys, thanks for doing this one. finally got me to watch it. All right, adios. Bye.
Amazing.
Thanks, Corey. Amazing.
What did you think of the?
Hold on. Just a second. Can we do?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, we do shout outs?
Yeah, we gotta do shout outs first. Guys, we did it. Catcher, what do you have to plug, my friend?
I am also a podcaster. I have a show called Cinenauts. Most recently, we did the second episode of the miniseries For All Mankind, where we are covering all of the Michael Mann movies in reverse chronological order. So
Black Hat. Yeah.
A much maligned film for much of its life. It is an absolutely exceptional film that everyone should watch. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Jonesy still hates it. Jonesy joins me on Cinenauts to do that. He hates it. And I absolutely love it. Listen to the show and you can hear why if you want to get some sort of information before going into it. But I love it. It took us 3 times to record that episode. And so happy to do that. 3rd time and it worked out brilliantly. It's amazing. I love Black Hat. So check that out. But yeah, Cinenauts, all places that you can get podcasts.
Amazing. And has art every episode. Catcher does original artwork. That's amazing.
It's true. And I have a regular co-host who's away because she runs a film festival during the summer, Taya. So while she's gone, I'm playing with a bunch of my other friends. So yeah, it's
interesting.
Very cool. Mm-hmm.
Still waiting for our invites for Jason and I to come on to Cinenauts.
Guys, the problem is you guys don't have time for me to come on the show. So I'm always like, how hard will it be? But we can figure something out. I have no problem with that.
I have time to come on. I can't speak for Jason. I can't speak for Ben.
Okay. Yeah. Then we will do. I will work with you to figure that out. Actually.
Okay.
Right after this.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Jason, what do you have to plug, my friend?
Well, this is Griffin reminded me, like, my plug is related to a question he had for you, which is we're very deep. We're halfway through the Barad-dûr build.
Okay.
Sam. We're halfway through the Lego set of the Dark Tower, and we downloaded the Lego Builder app.
And it sucks.
What?
We don't think the app was very useful. We just thought it was like kind of having the manual, but like not as big as the manual. So
it is, but if you zoom in, then you can see it way better. Like
we just didn't think it was that
good.
useful. No.
Okay.
We vote against the app. We use the
didn't
paper.
work for you.
No, it didn't work for us. But we're halfway done.
Yeah, because it's just like the manual just mixed up with the phone, kind of technical.
Yeah. Griff, do you want to do your favorite line?
Wait, are we doing it on phone? You got to do it on an iPad.
You can do it.
What?
You can do it.
We thought you was a toad.
Yeah, that part. I thought you meant the other part where he said it the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
That guy.
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
And he said it like about 5 times.
Yeah.
Like almost. Counting the first one, it's 5.
And there's a lot of swears in the movie, which
it said the B word.
It said the B word a few times, which was
the some B word as well.
Yeah, son of a B word. Yeah.
Exactly. Amazing. Sam, anything you want to say about Guardians of the Galaxy?
It was really good.
Good.
I thought it was fine. I didn't really think it was the best.
You guys are ready for podcasting.
What was your favorite part, Sam?
What movie do you think it's better than? What's a movie that's worse than?
I can't choose a favorite part because it was also fun.
A worse one than Oh Brother was probably Squid Game.
Oh yeah.
At one point at camp, I said to one of the other
Squid Game
kids,
here, though.
if you see a raccoon with a rocket launcher and wearing like a leather suit, say hi, Rocket.
Yeah.
That's what you said?
I said to do that.
Nice.
All right.
The one besides that, the other movie that I absolutely hate is Squid Game.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. His uncle showed him Squid Game, which led to some bad dreams for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't fall asleep until like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, 10 o'clock. That's good.
Yeah.
One night I didn't go to sleep at all. One night I read for the whole entire night.
Oh,
what were you reading?
I don't remember, but then when I went down to tell you, it was already like
2 o'clock in the morning.
2 in the morning.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
And you guys were like, "All right, that's it."
Yeah, that's it. I'm giving a shot. I'm gonna plug getting a good night's sleep, guys.
You
Don't
know
watch
what
stuff that's too
happened
scary.
To me one time, I was staying at my uncle's for a sleepover, and I stayed up until 2 No, not 2, like
3 in the
1.
morning,
Yeah, like no, I stayed up until like 4.
Yeah, it was
And then I
bad.
fell asleep at 5.
You are
and then I
destroyed.
woke up at 12.
You were wrecked
Uncle's
the
in
next
trouble. Uncle's.
No,
I love
I
this
woke
guy.
up. I think at I woke up at 6.
day. Not a lot of rules at Uncle's house.
That's
Yeah,
the
I
kind of
woke up
uncle
at
I'm going to be.
6.
I can't wait.
I was surprised it was even 6 when I woke up.
Can we get each of your favorite movies ever, please? Is that
and
easily?
also,
What's your favorite movie, Sam?
I've been staying up till 11 or 12.
Oh,
Don't
it's
out
summer.
yourself.
It's time for sleeping. Time
Sam
for
just finished
staying
Harry
up late.
Potter 4. He's starting Harry Potter 5 tonight, so
Gotcha.
that's
Okay.
happening.
What's your favorite movie, Sam?
I like Lord of the Rings, Guardians of the Galaxy, but my
Strong.
favorite movie is probably Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Wow, nice,
That's a good
nice.
one. What's your favorite
Really
movie?
good.
You think?
Yeah,
No favorite movie.
perfect. I like
They're
that.
all equal.
But
That's
I
right.
read Captain America Winter Soldier. It's the best.
Me
It's
too.
incredible.
On
It's
your left.
Yeah.
That's
That's-
the only type of movies that I like. I only like realistic movies.
Yeah, we're against
Mm.
animation over here.
No,
yeah,
animation.
animation is dumb. It's like old. It's like graphics are dumb. The graphics are like so like.
You didn't
Just
like Across
terrible.
the Spider-Verse?
We like Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay, good.
That's not animated. That's like more cartoon.
Yeah, it's more
Okay.
cartoon. It's not animated.
Oh, I
Okay.
see.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
CG.
Alright,
He has a
he's
problem with the
anti-CG.
CG. I like
Yeah.
this. A purist. A true
It's not.
purist.
Yeah.
A purist, the next generation. Guys,
Mini Matt attack.
Mini Matt attack. Attack of the minifigures. You got to hold it up so they can see it. Great job. Zoom
Amazing.
in.
I can't really see it. It's blurry.
Incredible.
Oh, there he's coming into
It's
focus.
blurry.
Oh, look at that. It looks good.
I saw it for a second. Like I
And
saw
then
a
it
flash.
says Matt on the front and a skate hatch on the back.
Boom.
Even the minifigs have merch.
Amazing.
We got to have merch. You got to
Yeah, we
have
need
merch.
merch.
You know what we saw? We thought
Tennis
this was your car, and
racket.
it said
Listen.
the license plate said Matt on it, and we were
Yeah.
like, Matt's car.
Nice. All right, you guys. We did it.
Yes.
Say see you later. Say bye.
Bye. But my
Bye.
dad's car is the Jad.
That's a
Jad.
different one. Don't give out my license plate on the air. That's
Yeah,
a
don't
secret.
dox your dad.
That's right.
Don't dox your dad.
All
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks
Okay.
for listening.
Pleasure,
Good to
guys.
see you.
Good to see
Thanks,
you too.
Catcher.
Thank you for having me. And we'll talk to
Catcher,
you
we
guys
did
soon.
it.
We did
Okay,
it.
man. Peace.
Peace.
Bye. Bye.